Most of us stayed dry today under relatively cloudy skies, especially early on, with a few showers on radar. Have a few little light sprinkles along the Mississippi coast, but the heavier thunderstorms again were down the bayou, most of which wrapping up. And I think the rest of the evening and night should be mostly dry. And we're already starting to see some clearing of our skies. But notice on satellite this northerly push. There was a weak boundary that moved on through. You could call it a cold front, and it did bring in some cooler temperatures. In fact, we stayed generally in the upper 70s to lower 80s all day long, and only really getting into the lower 80s at Kenner as we started to see a little bit more sunshine over the last couple of hours. Dew points didn't change a whole lot, still in the mid 60s. Winds though out of the north at 9 miles an hour, and today's high was only 81. Compare that to yesterday's high, 90. 87 is our normal high, so we're running well below average. Morning lows were still on the mild side, 60s and lower 70s, but I think we'll be even a few degrees cooler than that tomorrow morning. Still only in the upper 70s, Bogalusa, Hammond, 73 degrees in Macomb, low 80s. This will be fantastic weather as we head into the start of June. We know that's not going to last, unfortunately. And dew points have been more low mid 60 range, which is still fairly comfortable. We continue to watch that drier air, which is to our north, will be moving in over the course of the next several days, so humidity values will likely decrease a bit more. So even if our afternoon temperatures, which are likely to increase in the coming days, that drier air looks as though it will stay in place until about early next week. Toward Wednesday, Thursday, as we get the start of June, we start to bring back some of that Gulf moisture from the south as our southerly winds will begin to return. But over the next several days, that dry air does look to remain in place. Maybe a slight increase in humidity even by Tuesday and Wednesday, but not uncomfortably so. It does look like we should begin June fairly pleasant, knowing what is on the way as we head further into the summertime months, especially by August and early September. Upper troughing, which is really starting to take shape out to our west, is the reason for this upper pattern. With a wind out of the north, this will likely stick with us for the next several days. Now, what's been interesting is that the models are also kind of within the upper low itself. These little disturbances embedded within that pattern may try and move over us on Saturday. If that happens, it could maybe trigger a few isolated showers. Doesn't look like it'd be a big deal. All it would really do is also maybe push through a weak front, reinforcing that dry air which is in place now and will stay in place through the holiday weekend. So beautiful weather if you're staying at home for Memorial Day. If you're headed out to the East Coast, different story. There is a low % chance of maybe some potential tropical development. At the moment, Hurricane Center is only giving it a 10% chance within the next 7 days, as most of the models really not grabbing onto this as becoming a purely tropical system. Could become more subtropical in nature. Either way, it's going to create the winds along the East Coast, the rip currents, the high tides, as well as a rain event. So if you were going to be headed out toward the Carolinas for the holiday weekend, it'll be windy and it'll be rainy. If anything, this little system will reinforce that northerly wind here, which will keep us beautiful for the holiday weekend. More active weather to our east and off to our west. We're kind of in between, fairly quiet. Does look like a fairly dry day tomorrow with only about a 20% chance for mainly coastal showers. If we do see much in the way of rainfall, probably well south of the city along the coast and a bit farther offshore. Then Friday, dry, maybe a few spotty showers on Saturday with that little upper disturbance moving on through. But I think that less humid air is going to stick around through Memorial Day. As we head and wrapping up May, we'll start to see the humidity increasing, but not a terrible end to the month.